What's up, ladies and gents? This is Mike Headley, host of the Headley Group Real Estate Show. The podcast was designed to show business professionals who happens to have a license to sell real estate how you can make money outside of just selling a piece of property. We are talking to entrepreneurs that's making things happen. Continue to tune in. Hey gang, we are back. Another great episode of the Headley Group Real Estate Show. Listen, one thing about our show, again, we keep it honest, we keep it real. We got a young lady right here. I'm talking about, I'm looking at the stat sheet, and it is full with an extensive list of so many things that she's a part of, how long she's been in the business, so many great things she's doing while she's in the business. Owner of Keira Associates in the Philadelphia area, owner of Advantage Business Academy. She's 16 years in the game. Serves as the National Association of Realtors and Brokers. She's the co-chairman of a good movement that I'm real proud of. The Black Lives Matter Real Estate Forum. Again, we got to discuss our issues. That's the reason why I started this show. Let's give a warm welcome to Miss Keira Ingram. How you doing, man?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, listen. We my team said, because again, anytime we go out and we try to, selectively pick people who have integrity and kind of do a little research on them, we came across you. And she said, my team member there, and we have another one, says, I think she would be great fit for the show because she's doing some great things and maybe somebody in Utah can learn from her. Right?
Thank you.
Keira, 16 years in the game.
Yeah.
All right. So like I said, I see you do so many great things in the Philadelphia area. And again, your background, everything is pretty long. Now, what was that itch? I'd ask everybody, what was that itch to make you say, I need to get a real estate license?
Well, the thing that made me initially want to get my license was I was just doing like free classes at my church, showing people how to fix their credit and how to obtain houses. Okay. And then I had met a young lady from New York, and she was like, you really should be getting paid for this. Why don't you get your real estate license? So I was like, I watch HGTV all the time, I'll get my license. So when I got into the business, I was like, this was not what I wanted. So then I had my license, but I wasn't actively using it until I had a tragedy happen.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. Okay. So
and
when I was pregnant with my daughter, normal birth, had a C-section, had to stay in the hospital a little bit later, went home after a week, went into heart failure. I'm 25, never thought pregnancy and heart failure had anything to do with each other, but literally my pregnancy and my labor caused my heart to develop heart disease. And I had to be in the hospital for a month after I had her. And they told me, your job is too stressful. What are you going to do? And before I left, I was like, you know what? I'm going to really take this real estate thing seriously because it's the only thing that I could do that will let me have a bad heart day and take a break if I needed it. Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't even just defend that because, I ask people these questions a lot. Okay, made you get real estate? They said, hey, I wanted to make a lot of money, but yours came from a totally different space.
Right.
And like I said, blessings that you are here. So with that, you decided to go straight into real estate school immediately after, or did you have a time break, or what was that journey like?
In the beginning, I did my real estate classes. I finished in 2 weeks. I was doing them day and night like a crazy person online. So I just knocked them out really fast. Because in Pennsylvania at that time, it only requires 60 hours of classes. Okay. And I just knocked them out.
And I see you've been licensed 16 years. I've been licensed 15 years. So you got yours in 06.
Yeah.
06, okay. And I was licensed 07. And it's amazing the changes I guess each state has. And this another quick, we're gonna continue with your what you was talking about, another side question here. In terms of Philadelphia getting a license, is it real estate agent and real estate broker, or everybody brokers? How does it operate?
It's real estate agents and brokers. So you have to have your license as a real estate agent for 3 years, and you have to have a certain number of transactions, and then you can apply for your broker's license. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's nothing like that here. Yes. Before all of a sudden now is just they want you to be a provisional broker for you got a year and a half to complete them classes, and they want anybody to be brokers. So, but each state is different. So, okay.
So now you studied. Actually, it took me 4 times if you passed my exam. You said you knocked yours out.
I passed it on the first try. And wow. I literally, as soon as I got it, like I filled out my application and drove to Harrisburg. Like, please get my license today.
Oh, wow. Wow, the first time. And some people don't really grasp it that way. Some people don't get it that first time. But again, it took me 4 times. But perseverance, right? It seemed like you had that as well. Go ahead.
I tell people all the time, it don't matter if you had to take it 15 times. Your client's never going to know. Correct. They only want to know that you have your license, because we get a lot of people that get discouraged, like, well, I took it too many times. Like, go on and keep taking it.
Yes. And that's what it is. And that's what I was another friend of mine, she took her, I think, 6 times. Mm-hmm. But usually the ones who take it so many times, not saying that you have to, aren't they the beasts? Aren't they the ones that's the go-getters?
They appreciate it more.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, they appreciate it so much more. So now that first year in real estate, was it, because again, you get some people say, I knocked it out the box. I sold 10 houses, 40 houses. How many homes did you sell the first 6 months? And when was your first closing?
I sold 0. Okay. I was struggling. And I hate when people don't be honest. Like, everybody's story is not, I made $1 million my first year. I made nothing. I had to explain to my husband at the time, like, listen, just hang in here with me. Like, I want to let it go. So it probably took me 12 months to get my first sale.
Okay.
It wasn't like a great $1 million sale or anything like that, just a little something. And then like 18 months to really figure out the flow of the business. But by then I had already went back to work. So I had like totally brought into it, and then kind of was like, this is not like the classes, because we know the classes have nothing to do with the business.
Nothing.
So I was kind of discouraged, and then I went back to work and decided to do it part-time until I had the health scare. So it took me a good 8 months to figure out my own flow to it. And then I was just doing it here and there. Once I had my health scare, I was all in. Like, once I was better, I was like head first, all into everything. And that's when I really figured things out.
Because I can always go back and get a job, because of the person you are. I can always get a job, but let me start this business. So what do you say to people who because I got my opinion on it in terms of, okay, now I got to work, right? There's nothing wrong with that, because again, we have some brokers who does have jobs, and I don't, you know your personal situation.
Right.
When do your light switch came on? You said your health thing, I got to go full steam ahead.
Right.
Mine's came on. I said, I'm a sink or swim. I'm going all the way in.
Right.
How does a broker deal with comfort? What I mean by, I get a paycheck every 2 weeks. I make great money. My job is good, but I really want to do this real estate thing. How do they make that separation? If you want to elaborate on that.
It sounds bad, but you gotta jump in. Like, until you really jump in and you don't have any other options, you're probably not going to give it all that you need to give it. Now, I'm all for being responsible too. So that's why if you have a spouse or a partner or whatever, it can be helpful. But until I jumped all the way in, I just wasn't in, to be honest. And most people who are doing real estate part-time, they're not doing it part-time as if it was a real job. They're doing it part-time like, oh, I'm doing it part-time, but my favorite show come on tonight, I'm not doing it tonight, or I gotta go somewhere this weekend. But if you worked at UPS or ShopRite part-time, you would have a schedule, you would have to stick to it. So unless you're really going to be dedicated to that, it's really hard to do it part-time. Like, you have to kind of just take that leap into it and really do all the things until you see the money come in.
And just to touch on, you said some wonderful things, and just to add something else to it, I've always said, okay, if you're doing this part-time or you just starting out full-time, fun is gone. Like there is no fun. There is no Cancun, I need to go down to Miami. Right now, that should be put on pause. If you want to be at the top of that, one of the top brokers, top teams, etc.
Right.
Because it requires a lot of you, particularly starting off when nobody knows who you are. Exactly. Why should we choose you versus this team or this person that been in business 10, 15 years? Why should we gonna choose you? So I've always kind of thought it along them lines, like you just starting off, like you got to give 110% attention to this. Yeah. You agree?
I agree. And the beauty about real estate is, unlike some other careers, you don't have to stay in that place for 5 or 10 years. If you really buckle down, jump in for 3 years, 2 years, you can build enough momentum where you can start pulling back a little bit and working less and traveling more and all of that stuff. But those first couple of years, it's imperative that you really lock in, let your family know, like, I know y'all don't think I really work, but I'm really not available. I can't just go shopping for you in the middle of the day and all of that kind of stuff, and really focus on what you're doing in your business.
So you said 2 years, 100% focus on it.
2 years that like grind, and I'm anti-grind, but for that first 2 years, if you really focus in, lock in, and do all the things that nobody else wants to do, you're going to see the numbers, because it's a people's business, but it's really a numbers game. If you do all this stuff enough, you'll see the transactions.
So what do you say? You're a broker owner of a company, and I'm quite sure, like I said, you got a ton of experience. You probably do trainings and all that great stuff. So I go to the trainings, I get some leads, but I'm still not getting where I need to go. I still not feel as though like there's something else that's missing out there. What do you say to a broker who says that kind of tone or put that energy out there?
Hey guys, thank you for watching our show. We're gonna interrupt you real quickly. We are in the business of referrals. If you know someone looking to buy or sell, residential or commercial, here in the North Carolina area, refer us. We really appreciate that.
I can almost guarantee that they're not doing all the stuff. Even if they think, and we have this thing here called Boss Track. So it's like, it's a program where it is to get you to your first or next 6 transactions. Most of the time, we lay out a specific roadmap and plan for people. This is what you need to do to get your next 6 transactions. I would say 80% of the people struggle to do 50% of the things. But if the little percentage that we have that do all the things, they all get the transactions. So it's literally a matter of, if you show me an agent who has a roadmap and they're like, nothing's working and it's just not working, they're not following it, because nobody wants to do all the stuff. And I let people know, like, none of us love doing all the stuff. Nobody wants to cold call. Nobody wants to do 100 handwritten notes. No one is like excited about doing this stuff. But if you want to build that following and that referral base, you have to do all the stuff. And once you do it, you're just repeating it, because our program is 6 weeks. If they do these things for 6 weeks, they can just wash and repeat over and over and over again. But if they're saying they can't get any transactions, they're not doing the stuff.
So basically, accountability. And I got to remain consistent, right?
You have to be consistent in this business, because it's so many inconsistent people. Our industry draws people who just, like me, saw it on HGTV, like, let me make a quick $1. It don't work like that. So most people don't want to do the stuff that's necessary to produce income.
You know, to see these shows, which trips me out.
Yeah.
I've always said, don't forget this is TV, it's television, commercials, advertisement. Their job is to sensationalize things and make things as easy as possible. Make it think it's, but it's not the case, right? I tell my team members all the time, which I said on the podcast, is that you're you're opening up a business you happen to have a license to sell real estate. So business first, but then you got a license to sell real estate, right? And that part there of running a business, that part that a lot of people just don't want to do. But kudos you for saying that. So you said the 6 weeks program, right? Again, we're going to jump back in a second. We go back and forth because we're finding more about you. There's no chronological order. We're having a conversation.
Yes.
6 weeks program. You talked about this here. Okay. How intense is the program? And I'm curious, what is the participation? And this is not a bias here, from women and men. Like what is that as far as in your 6 weeks program?
So the 6 week program, we typically have more women than men, which is just real estate in general.
Correct, exactly.
Especially on I don't want to say lower levels, but especially on the agent level. As you get to brokers and stuff, it's fewer women, especially women of color. But we pretty much have mostly women. We start off with usually an excited group of 15. We probably end with like a tired group of 8.
Interesting.
And it's very intense. Like, people have cried.
But you make a beast out of them, though. You make a beast out of them.
I'm trying, because that's how the industry is. And really, one of the things that people get upset about is that I don't give room for excuses. Like, if you are doing this and you're serious and you want 6 transactions in 6 weeks, you don't have no room for excuses. Like, and I tell people, not saying that my story is like the worst or the hardest, but here I am dealing with heart disease and 4 children, and I'm newly divorced.
Okay.
I've been able to build my business and not give myself excuses. So when you say you stubbed your toe, I can't really let you have a pass. If you really want it, you'll do it. One of the things I tell them in the class is that the only thing that benefits from your excuses is failure. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nobody cares when you're trying to help somebody, when you're trying to make money. Excuses don't work. So I don't allow any excuses. So that gets to people a little bit.
But so I do believe that you have to, it's like working out, right? The coach, the trainer is not going, well, I think you need to do an extra set. No, you need to do another set, right? And you need that. You need that in order to get you going. And again, you'll ruffle some feathers, but hey, like you said, people don't care. That buyer don't care. That seller don't care. They want you to get the job done. So kudos to you on that. This program, is it for any and everybody, or is this only for your brokers, or what's going on with that?
It's for anybody and everybody in our local area. We haven't done it online.
Oh, you got to get this online, sister, because right now you're gonna have some people reaching out to you and saying, "Hey, I might want to be a part of that." That's what I'm saying. You might want to.
The only reason why I haven't done it online is just because it is intense, and I didn't know how dedicated people would be online. I know when I have them in a room, I get their undivided attention. One of the first things we make them do is write themselves and their family a letter if they succeed, and then make them write themselves and their family a letter if they fail.
Ooh,
and
I like
things like that. Okay. It's hard to get the same emotional response online, so we haven't done it online yet.
I like that right there. Write a letter to family, huh?
Yeah.
Write that down. That's a great idea there. So from your class, how long you been doing this?
We've been doing it for 2 years.
And the results from that?
And we usually do it like once a quarter.
And how the results been from that?
It's been great. I have one agent who she made more money in 3 months than she did the previous year. Her job, she quit. It's like, you know what? This is what I want to do. I have another agent who her children really wanted to act and do casting calls and stuff. She was a nurse. She was able to replace her income and travel with her kids. So we have lots of stories where people were just able to really get the transactions, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Like, if you don't have enough transactions to support yourself, you really are not going to be able to win. And nationally, most agents only do less than 10 transactions a year, which is why they can't live off of real estate salary, because they're not making enough money.
Facts. That is so true there. So now you have these 1, 2, 3 who's done extremely well. And again, you pulled that out of them with that cooperation from them to say, okay, I want to follow this program. I want to succeed.
Right.
How does now that your other brokers and people, are these part of your brokerage? These agents, they're part of your company?
Some of them are part of my company. Some of them are coaching clients.
Coaching clients. Okay. So what is that reflection on to the other agents, right? When they were like, man, I see Lisa killing it. Right. What is she doing? They still don't want to participate, or they
do, but see, one of the things about this program, you cannot miss any time or you get kicked out. So
I like that. I like you, Keira. I like you. It seemed like you got this energy where it's just nice and innocent, but you are a drill sergeant, huh? Nice.
Yeah, but nice. I love when them too and kiss them and it's gonna be okay. But if you're in this particular program, that means you really want the results, and to get the results, you can't miss any time. So if you miss time, and I feel like my time is valuable too. So I'm coming in early on Saturday mornings to sit with you for 2-3 hours and coaching you during the week, then you have to dedicate yourself to that time. But for the agents that don't participate, they do get like, oh man, the next time you have it, I'm going to do it. So it does spark that little competitive spirit in them, and they want to do it, and they see others are doing well.
But it's not a requirement to be a part of the brokerage to take this course.
No.
Okay. Now, is that a separate fee for the company, for the brokers, agents in your office, or
no?
It's not. Okay, it's not.
Not
okay.
for my agents. So for my coaching clients, they pay separate for it. Yeah, but for my agents, I'll get them everything they need.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. It's funny as you say that, because same format here, but our brother, we literally set the. It's like I said, when I started, I wish I would have had what I'm offering.
I say that
so
too.
It's like, man, so why are you not taking advantage of all of this?
Yes.
But again, that part there that's internal. They would have to, like, you got to meet me halfway at least.
Right.
Tell me about the which is the host to Explore My Own Philadelphia. Like, tell me a little bit more about that.
It's called Explore My Town Philadelphia.
Explore My Town, correct?
Yes. And what we do is we go out and interview small Black and brown businesses to give them a platform to share what they're doing, what's working with them, and also to share their biggest struggle as a Black or brown business and their biggest piece of advice for other small business owners. Because we're a big city, but a lot of times people do not even know that there's Black and brown businesses that own all different types of stuff. They have no idea. So we try to really share, what they're doing and give them access to bigger audiences.
And also, I would take it, and again, I'm looking at it from a real estate perspective, awesome lead generator as well.
Awesome. At the end of each episode, they give a little shout out to our company and tell people to come in. Let's help them with their real estate lead needs.
And how has that been? And again, in terms of just somebody calling and getting to the closing table, two totally different things. Right. Not necessarily give me a particular number, but has that been successful for you?
Yes, it's been very successful. It's like opened up opportunities for my agents to service clients that we would not have without those business owners shouting us out. And it's also given us the opportunity to help business owners buy their own properties. Like, a lot of business owners out here renting, paying crazy amounts, not even realizing that they can buy a commercial property. Nice,
exactly. Wow. And you specialize in commercial, residential?
I would say we specialize in investor services.
And investor services. Okay.
Yeah, so we help a lot of investors. That's what my business was based off of before I became a broker, was primarily helping investors.
Okay, primary helping investors. Now, in this market here, we all know, again, we keep it real. They can't get on your nerve now because they want something for nothing, right? And you got to tell them, say, listen, them numbers ain't gonna cut it. You got to come up just a little bit more, right? But then you get some, okay, listen, go ahead and put it out. So how do you deal with if you got 4 investors that want Keira's time, that want the same criteria as the other 3? Like, how do you deal with that?
Quick commercial break. If you're interested in a career in real estate, or you're a seasoned vet, and you might want to change, new environment, you don't like the atmosphere you're in, the Headley Group Realty could be there to assist you with your career. What do we offer? Great culture, great environment, leads, and an awesome commission structure. Let us be there to support your business. One thing, you got to be in the state of North Carolina. Let's get back to the show.
I mean, well, at this particular point in my career, if they're not paying me as a coach or consultant, they're not getting me anyway.
Okay, okay, I got you. So I got you.
Yeah, so they can get one of my agents, but I don't produce anymore unless I am forced to or highly paid to.
So you don't sell at all? You don't help any client?
I don't really sell at all.
Okay, got you.
Because with 43 agents, like in our market in Philadelphia, I'm the largest independent Black-owned brokerage.
We gotta get around the beautiful. That's what we like. That beautiful. We love that there because we love to support our own. Like I said, that was a reason for starting the show. Right. The largest, beautiful, great.
Yeah, okay. I mean, as far as independent owned, like I'm independent, not independent,
just like
you
see this, the Headley Group Realty, exactly, independent. Sister,
so you know the struggle too. Then.
Oh, I know the struggle exactly. Let me ask you something. Do you get the whole? And again, this is a side conversation, but our people need to hear this as well. Right. You independent owners out there, do you get the whole, hey, listen, we got some great programs from one of these big box companies. Why don't you come along with us?
Every day.
Why would I do that? No. Right? You know, it's funny. I shared this story had one call, and I ain't gonna say the particular name. They called me and they said, hey, because actually I started out with Lord Rock for 9 years. And they said, hey, we got blah, 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 blah. And I said, I have blah, 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 blah. And they said, well, I think it'd be a great opportunity. I said, listen, let me make sure we're on the same page. We own the location. We own the business. Right. Why would I take this to go up on the yard and then now my commission, my team? I said, does that make any sense? Right. And she said, I said, no, just think about it. Is that really, man? I know you're a recruiter, but does that make any sense at all? No, it doesn't. I said, have a nice day, man.
Exactly.
So I get what you're saying. So enough about me, Keira. I just wanted to share that because we was on the same page.
Yeah.
How to become a real estate boss. This is a book that you have. What made you want to write this book?
Because I have the real estate school, and I'm very sympathetic to new agents because I didn't make any money my first year. So I get a lot of people who are either new or who are getting ready to let their licenses go. Like that's what comes to me all the time. And a lot of times they're asking me the same questions over and over again. So I thought, well, why don't I just put all this information in a book? And I just wrote about different clients' experiences and how basically to make a foundation for your business, not necessarily to build $1 million business, but just to build a consistent income in real estate. I think some of the big box brokerages are too focused on $1 million agents when that is not necessarily what everyone wants or what they can even see for themselves in the beginning. So I just wanted to write something that can include all the basic information.
Oh, wow, I love that there. So you said you have your own real estate school.
Yes.
So they get licensed up under you as well?
Yes.
Oh, boy, that's a smart. Boy, you're a smart sister there. I give you credit. Oh, okay. So that's okay. So the school, then the book. Boom. Clearly, I see why you don't sell. Like I said, it's a lot. Now, do you have trainers, agent that deals with a lot of agent issues right beneath you as well?
Yeah, we have team leaders, and then we also have a success coach who deals with mindset and things like that.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Say that's beautiful. So tell me about this, which is I really want to highlight here, Black Lives Matter Real Estate Forum. Tell us about that.
So it's an organization that approached me. They were working primarily out of New York, but what they do is help Black professionals who have money and want to invest in real estate, but they're not sure how to get started. So we wanted to bring that same energy to Philadelphia. So we started a Philadelphia chapter, and I'm a co-chairperson for that chapter.
Oh, wow. Because I actually, I'm originally from New York, from Brooklyn.
Okay.
And we need, that could be something down here. Okay, maybe we talk offline, but that could be something that's interesting. I'm interested in.
Okay.
So now has anything good came from that? I mean, was there any purchases done from that?
They have funded a lot of purchases throughout the country. They work primarily with Black developers, so they've been able to kind of piece together the money from within our community with developers and investors to make something great happen.
Nice. Okay. So, Keira, you look back 16 years ago, and again, you said so many great things. Like I said, we can talk literally for hours because I think we share the same sentiment.
Right.
You said Keira started 16 years ago. This is the advice I'm gonna give you your first 5 years. What would you tell her?
I would say this is the biggest advice I give to all of my agents, everybody I meet. Do it afraid. You're never going to not be afraid. You just got to be willing to do it anyway. I was just telling my agents, like, I'm doing a podcast. I know I'm scared, but I'm just about to jump on here.
Oh, so you're doing well. Scared. I can't even tell. Yeah.
But I think a lot of times we don't do stuff because we're waiting for this moment where we don't feel scared. It doesn't have to be that you don't feel scared. You just jump in and do it anyway. That is real courage. I believe Oprah Winfrey have a quote saying that's real courage, is to be afraid and to jump in and do it anyway. So that's my biggest advice. And I wish I had a broker like me or you to hold my hand through that first year and give me, some real life advice about it.
Oh, man, listen. So that leads me into, like I said, you said so many great things. Keira, we ask every guest for 2 golden nuggets. You gave us about 15, right? Give us 2 golden nuggets, whether it be a book, well, you can mention your book, a quote, a scripture, or anything that's more inspiring, inspirational, that tells the agent, excuse my language, get off your ass and let's make it happen. Go ahead and go.
Okay, so my first advice probably is Opposite of industry advice is that it should be impact over income. The money doesn't matter if you're not making sure that your business is going to impact lives. So really focus on how you want to impact lives and how real estate can be a part of that. That would be the best thing that I can tell anyone, because people want to work with people who they know are making a difference in their communities, not people who are just chasing a dollar. So that would be my first piece of advice. And then I had pulled up this Bible scripture.
Okay.
I've been a preacher forever, so.
Oh, wow. Excuse my language. I should make
No, you're fine.
What's wrong with you?
No.
God, forgive me.
I'm not that type of preacher. I'm fine.
Okay, I got you. I like to respect.
I'm a Jesus type of preacher.
Oh, okay.
So the scripture that I have is Psalms 127, 1-2. It says, unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves. And that's the scripture that I use to really tell people it has to be grace over grind. Like it's like this thing in our culture where you have to grind, you gotta hustle. You have to put in hard work, but you need to not grind and not sleep and not eat and not put, if your business causes you to do all of that long term forever, you're in the wrong business. God's not with you. So at some point, it should be a peace in your business, and you should build enough team where you don't have to hustle and grind all the time. We're killing ourselves young because we want to be in this culture of hustle and grind, when really we should just walk in God's grace and let him lead our businesses so we don't have to live that way.
So, and just to piggyback off of it, I think there's so many distractions, but we all know the power of social media can have you thinking that, man, I need to be exactly like her. I need to be exactly like him, which in reality is they got their moment when it was time for them to have their moment. You have your moment when it's time for you to have your moment, right? I've always said, if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not for you, then it's not for you, but listen, Keira, you definitely dropped so many great jewels on us. And again, we want to thank you for being a part of the Headley Group Real Estate Show. Listen, you're an alumni. And I would say, sister, we want to have you back on this show. You're doing some wonderful things. I mean, over 40-something brokers, own her own real estate school. She has a book, 16 years in the business, and willing to take referrals. Listen, Keira, thank you for being on the show. And last question, is there something that you want me to ask you that I did not ask?
No, I think you know what, you can ask me, people ask me this all the time. You have 4 kids, how do you manage work-life balance?
Well, I didn't want to, because sometimes that could be a little touchy. I did think about that. But yes, how do you do it? Go ahead and tell me.
I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe, and I know this is opposite of a lot of female CEOs. I believe that when I'm with my kids, my priority is to be a mom. When I'm not with my kids, my priority is my business. And I think that that's okay. And a lot of times we make moms feel bad for that. Like, what do you mean that your priority is sometimes not your kids? I couldn't build this business if when I'm supposed to be focused on business, I'm focused on my kids. So you have to build the right team around you to help support your kids, so that when you're with them, you're with them. When you're not with them, you got to be on your business. So that's what I believe.
Well, that is so true there. Somebody asked me that, well, like you said, how do you can't have a balance. It's impossible if you want to be, again, at the top of the echelon, right? Keira, like I said, you dropped so many great jewels on us. So we want to thank you for being on the Headley Group Real Estate Show. We'll see you all next time.
Hey, gang, I hope you really enjoyed that show. Our guests provide us some great tips and insight, and please support them on all social media platforms. And while I'm saying that, support us on all social media platforms. And don't forget, watch the entire video on YouTube. We'll see you next time.